Hello. Uh, I'm back. I am back because some things came up. I was kind of busy with some personal stuffs in life, and there was a little break. And then I was also, trying to fix one or two things that has to do with the channel. But I'm back now. I've strategized on some things, and I think I know better now. How to carry on with the channel. Aside that, um, stories were not coming in as expected. I have some stories. I have some couples of stories or some stories that I can actually chunk out, but I am working on them. I want to make them perfect. Now I'm trying to make sure that I am getting, if I can get the other party to say their own side of the story. So I have a couple of stories that has to do with uh, men's abuse, in marriages, relationship, dating, and all that. But in the interim, because I have very vast, migration experience. Many people don't know that I am an Australian permanent resident. I have Australian permanent residency. I have been so fortunate, by God, to also have Canadian citizenship. Funny enough, I also have American permanent residence. I have the American green card. So this immigration journey, I kind of have an idea of how people go about it or how to go about it, and for all this, immigration benefits, I did by myself. I never used a lawyer. I never used anyone to assist with getting this immigration benefit. So somebody wrote to me, and I decided to make this video about that topic. The person wrote to me saying, I recently got, PR acceptance for Canada, and my brother is saying I should not come. What should I do? I've lived in Canada before, so uh, I when I read the question, I was like, why would anybody tell you not to, not come? The biggest problem for Canada is job search. The biggest problem for Canada is getting a job. Other than that, I think Canada is a very good place to live. The problem is not that there's no job in Canada, but Canadian employers do not hire fresh immigrants, at least not for the decent jobs. You know, it takes a while for you to fully get immersed in the Canadian system of job or career, or growing in your field that you used to do back in your home country. So I would advise that you do your own work, and figure out exactly, you know, uh, if you have chances to get a proper job. But I can guarantee that you will struggle for some few months. And if you are like me, who do not mind to, take on any job, you will still have to do menial jobs for a while, a low paying job, so that you can meet up with your obligations and pay your bills. It can be very depressing, I must tell you. It can be very, very depressing if you have a good background and a work experience, and you're not getting exactly the kind of job that you're looking for. So I can tell you for free that it took me about 3 4 months before I got it right in Canada, before I could work for the biggest banks in Canada. So, but before then, I took the famous job that people talk about called care job. I did that for a couple of months before while I was doing that, I was applying to jobs. While I was doing that, I was applying to jobs. So I would advise that if you are going to come to Canada, the only problem that I see that you might have is getting the job of your desire, but that anyone will tell you not to come to Canada, I would say no. Don't let anyone tell you not to come to Canada. Canada is a very good place. And by the way, if you have very good degrees, a very good MBA, uh, regardless if you're not, if those degrees are not from Canada or the US, they are not recognized too well in Canada. Canada, and I don't blame them because it's their country. You cannot, the system of education in a particular country or wherever country you're coming from is definitely going to be different from what Canada has to offer or what the US has to offer. Canada worships the US, so if you have a degree from the US, any degree from the US is well respected in Canada. Same with the US; they also respect degrees uh, from 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 Canada. One thing I would advise anyone to go into, which I found out lately, was that, or is that, you should go for sectors that are um, that are they are hot cake. I'll call them hot cake sectors. Sectors like the healthcare, particularly, because if you bring any degree or any credential, all you need to do is just do a bit of conversion in Canada, especially nursing. I don't want to talk of medical doctor. Medical doctors are now, they find it very hard to settle down in Canada. But when you have nursing degree or you have some other healthcare or allied healthcare degrees or certifications, they are well respected, and you can easily, fall into the what do you call it, the job market. Getting a job will not be will not be difficult. I think that's my idea. Nobody should tell you not to come to Canada. Canada is a very beautiful place, and you will really love it. I was there for about 4 years. The only thing that I really didn't like about Canada was the weather and the taxation. The taxation is way crazy. I'll give you a hypothetical figure. Let's say I was earning, I can remember very well, I was earning close to about 100 and something $1,000 annually when I was in Canada. What gets to me annually was less than 50,000. That is how bad the taxation was. What was coming to me was less than 50,000. I can authoritatively say this. What was coming to me was less than 50,000. So the government took a bigger chunk out of what you're earning. So I would advise anyone to go to Canada, especially if you're coming from a country that is less developed compared to Canada. And another thing you stand to gain, especially with the fact that you have your PR, is that after a couple of months, I think it's 1,090 something, 1,950 something days. Once you clock 1,950 something days in Canada, you are due to be a citizen. And the Canadian passport is even stronger than the American passport. So that is what you stand to benefit. Don't let anyone discourage you from Canada, from coming to Canada. And I wish you all the very best.